So we are joined now by Randy Bacon, and Randy started out the summit as the keynote for a photography work that he's done.
And I missed that
the
whole
Road
thing,
I
Carolyn,
Call Home.
by the way. So you're going to have to explain a little bit what you saw, and then we'll let our guests talk as well.
And so I love this because Randy shared in 2008, he did his first interview with somebody, and he said, I looked him in the eye. So can you just kind of tell us how this started? Introduce yourself. Where are you out of?
Yeah. Well, as you mentioned, I'm Randy Bacon, and from Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, okay. Missouri.
Yeah. And my work does take me across most of the nation.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the project you're referencing is the Road I Call Home, and it is a project that actually didn't even start in 2008. That was where my heart started regarding the homeless community in Springfield, Missouri. And there in Springfield, downtown, with our art gallery and our studio, we would have homeless individuals stop by, and prior to 2008, my attitude was not as compassionate and loving as it should be. But through the connections of having people come in and me just saying to myself, just take a minute for this person.
Yes, absolutely.
Learn a little bit about this person. I realized that my thinking was really not good about this. And so I photographed, his name is Kevin. And through our conversations, I became friends. And I was like, but this is a really great guy. I just like this guy.
Yeah.
I don't care if he has a home or not. I just like this guy. He's interesting to me. And I took his photo, and from there, I started realizing that if I've got this stinking thinking about the homelessness, I know there's a lot of people that does.
Yeah.
And that through my voice, maybe the impact that happened on my heart through my work can also happen to other people that experience it. So that started the road for the Road I Call Home, and that is creating this body of work that we're literally to this day almost, I'm still capturing stories for that project.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Yeah. And you know what's interesting is McPherson Housing Coalition started in 2008 as well.
Is that right?
And that's really where we started to see things that were going on and realizing what was happening in our own community. So that's an interesting connection between the two of us. But you really touched my heart when you talked about, we were taught as kids when we would go down into Mexico, actually, there'd be people lined up in cardboard boxes, and that's how they're living. And my parents were like, oh, they're just begging or whatever. And so we would just walk by and not pay attention.
Don't look.
And so
don't
I was
make eye
trained
contact.
to do that.
Right.
And so, of course, I had this attitude because that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I have great parents, but it made them very uncomfortable. And it made them uncomfortable for their kids to see that.
Right.
So this really brings me to my own childhood and to my own heart as to where my journey has come, and to hear your journey is like, wow. So keep going. I'm sorry I interrupted, but it just, that connection was like,
and
wow.
I think, to this day, I know children are being taught that.
Yes.
So it's not like the problem's been solved since 2008, but still going. And I'm sure with your work and the work I'm doing, we're trying to change the way people think.
Yes.
Yes.
And realizing, just like I did, it's like I was really remiss. I was off base, and that now by changing, I've had some of the best experiences and made some of the best friends.
Yeah. Because everybody has a story.
Everybody's got a
And
story.
if I'm housed, I have that ability to have people into my house, to have friendships, to have relationships. But if you are homeless, if you are on the street, if nobody ever looks you in the eye or asks you your name or anything about that whole component of being alive and being a person is missing.
Doesn't it break your heart to think that you're not looking somebody in the eye and that no one is looking them in the eye?
Right.
That just like hits me here.
Yeah.
You can't see me, but maybe you can on the video. But it hits me there. And I will say, on a positive note, my own children were raised differently. So my son was in New Jersey with his best friend, and they found a guy, and they said, hey, if you'll show me around the city in New Jersey, we'll take you out to eat. That's exactly what him and his friend did. I think his friend's like, what are we doing here? And Derek's like, this is what we're doing. So the guy took him around, showed him all the stuff, and they took him to a restaurant and they ate with him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Isn't that, the difference between the way I was raised by parents who didn't know and my children who've been so ingrained in this life for their whole lives. We've had all of this going on.
Yeah.
So that gives you hope to know that no matter how you're raised or what you're doing, there is hope if we can educate and teach. And exactly, I love what you're doing because that's what you're doing. It's amazing. And I can't wait to go see that later because I missed it.
Randy, how many people have you had conversations with and photographed?
At least 200. It's in the 200 range.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and over, many years.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
That is a lot.
And but yet I still am inspired by each one.
Yeah.
In very unique ways. It's like each session that I have is its own unique thing, and we have our own unique relationship after it.
Yeah.
And for me that keeps driving me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do want to create a voice. I do want to create a powerful tool for humanity that we change our views on this. But also, in the midst of that, I'm getting blessed like crazy.
Yeah.
With some really, really interesting people that I really like. They like me. And we have good times, like dinner, like you talked about.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing that Randy pointed out when I got to listen to the part of his keynote was that he would tell a story about somebody, and then he would say, they're now housed.
Oh.
And everybody in the room would clap, because, that's what we're working for, is to get people housed.
Yeah.
But then you said, what'd you say about them?
Which part?
They want to show me where they live.
Oh yeah.
That is where they look at this man.
Yes.
Somebody that has opened his heart to them and now knows their story. And they get housed and they come back and they say, Randy, you have to see where I live.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's...
That's awesome.
And when you think about that, if you've got a good friend and they buy a new house in the suburbs, they're like, come over.
Yes,
absolutely. And it's really no different. But see, I appreciate that so much. Yeah. And that is, they didn't have to take the time to reach out and to give me an update on their journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they do, and it happens a lot, and that they do want to share their happiness with me, their new chapter of their life. It's special.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if the connection with you, the first person to look them in the eye and to really see them and to hear their story, is that the beginning of them moving forward sometimes because they've had that connection, because you've given them confidence, because they feel like they matter and somebody sees them?
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
And I know, because I've had multiple participants of the road I call home say exactly that.
Yeah.
And I even mentioned one in the talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her name is Punky. That's her street name. Her real name is Leslie.
Yeah.
And not too long ago, her family was in from a different state. And at that point, she had a home, and she was in a much better place than when I photographed her. She didn't have the issues with substance abuse, but she's like, I got to bring my family down to Randy's gallery to introduce.
Oh,
yeah.
So I'm having chills over here. Do you feel that way?
It's such a beautiful.
Yes.
Such a beautiful exhibit that he's got here.
Yes.
And then to think about, this is just a portion of what
Just a portion.
200.
What he's recorded.
Yeah.
Now, there's
amazing.
a book, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about what's the name of the book and where can I buy it?
Okay, the Road I Call Home is the title, and we do have them here at the conference.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful book.
Awesome.
I mean, I'll say that, even, I'm not trying to brag. It's just a beautiful book with beautiful people and beautiful stories.
Yeah.
And it's a big book. It's over 200 pages. It's a hardcover art book.
We might have to get one for the office.
Okay,
You
so
need to get one for the office.
Here's the other thing that Randy has done. When he takes these folks' pictures, he makes sure that they get copies of those pictures.
Yeah.
And he shared that for some of these guys, men and women. It's the only picture they have of themselves. So if you think about being homeless, we work every day with folks who lost their ID or their Social Security or any important papers. Okay, well, what about the photo albums? What about anything that documents your life growing up? That's all gone too.
Right.
And so it just almost makes me cry when I think about just giving somebody a picture of themselves.
Right.
And art, pictures and photography is so beautiful and it's so meaningful. People don't understand the importance of that. I know on our properties, we're looking to try to add more beauty by adding sculptures and different things. And people are always like to us, why are you making this so beautiful? Because I'm not going to give them anything less than I would have for myself.
Yeah.
And I want them to be able to be surrounded by beauty so that they can see how much we love them and what's important, that we care for them deeply. I think that's like the first step, and that's exactly what you're doing. You care for them deeply, you're giving them a voice, you see them. I'm going to cry over here because this is just an incredible, incredible thing that you're doing.
Yeah, I think the key words where you see them.
Yeah.
And I really want people to, that's one of the nuggets I want them to walk away with, because one of the top questions I do get asked from people that experience the work is, well, what do I do? What can I do to help the situation? And I go through that there's all these different things. But at the end of the day, if you can just see them.
Yeah.
And, if you are walking by one on the street, you look at them, you smile. Yeah. That doesn't mean automatically you give them $20.
Right.
It's nice if you do.
Yes.
But just the mere fact of recognizing that they're alive, that they're human, that they deserve dignity, that goes a long way to helping propel them through that chapter of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Oh my gosh, Randy, thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
having
having
a
me.
conversation with us, and I just absolutely love your work, and I'm going to get one of those books.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
Okay, so now we are joined by Molly Mendenhall.
Molly,
Molly
welcome.
is very
Yes.
familiar to us because we've been working for a while now on not just KS Homeless and the Continuum of Care that we're all a part of, but Molly is the lead on Built for Zero. Am I saying that correct?
Yeah, we're in a backbone partnership with KDADS, the Department for Aging and Disability Services.
Okay.
And so together we form the partnership that helps to implement system change through the Built for Zero model.
Okay.
So I want to stop you for a minute. When you say continuum of care, is that what you said earlier?
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of people listening may have no idea what that is. So let's try to explain that. A lot of times what we do when we're part of this, we have all these things that we say, right?
Yeah.
ESG, we say TBRA, and people are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're being very clear as we go through this, that somebody's like, what is that?
Yeah. So a Continuum of Care is a HUD-funded program that helps to disseminate money to communities to help resolve homelessness, help people escape homelessness, help people prevent themselves from becoming homeless. So we are the collaborative applicant, which means we at Kansas Statewide Homeless Coalition work with all of our partner agencies to apply for funds through the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Okay, that's a perfect...
And there are agencies all across the state
And the nation.
and the
Is it
nation that do what we do. And so if you are a provider in the state of Kansas, you are part of the Balance of State Continuum of Care. And then there are Continuum of Cares across the nation.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
That's
a nationwide.
awesome. Great explanation, you guys. That was
Nationwide.
perfect.
All right, so now, what is Built for Zero?
Built for Zero is an initiative that was started by Community Solutions. It's a data-driven system improvement model to make homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring across the country.
And so we have people that say, well, we're never going to get rid of all the homeless people. There's always going to be homeless people. So what do you mean Built for Zero? We're never going to get to zero. That's not the point.
That is not the point. The point is to make it to where we have less people entering the homelessness system, more people leaving the homelessness system, and making sure that if someone does become homeless, they're only homeless once.
Right.
So, and I have a question about that as well. I'm just going to ask 1,000 questions. So when you're talking about Built for Zero, how do you know that your community is now one of those types of communities? Is there a tracking system, or what is that?
Yeah, so we consult with Community Solutions, which was the agency that started the initiative, and they track all of the communities that have signed up to be a part of the initiative, and they help us make sure that our data is accurate, and they help coach us on how to do that system improvement work.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
So I've heard homelessness explained as a river, where you have people going into the river and people coming out of the river, meaning they've gotten housed. We want less people going into the river than we have coming out, because they don't get into the river to begin with.
Or somebody on the bridge and the bridge collapses, right?
Yeah.
Didn't somebody just say that on a podcast, that they
Yeah.
were on a bridge and the bridge is collapsing,
Yeah.
and all these people are falling in, and we're throwing life rafts, but we're not really helping them. We're just saying, here's a life raft, hope it works for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
So how are we doing as a state in the Built for Zero?
Yeah, so we officially launched our Built for Zero initiative as a state a year ago, so
Oh, wow.
last
It's a whole
April.
year.
So it's been a whole year. We have made tremendous progress since then. Our first goal has been to make sure that everyone is capturing up-to-date and quality, accurate data. So that is what everyone across the state has been working on. There is a verification process through Community Solutions that shows that we have low error rates in our data quality, and that all of our policies align to ensure that we can capture everyone that's experiencing homelessness. And now we have 3 communities that have achieved that for 3 different populations: Wichita, Douglas County, and the Southeast region and balance of state have all achieved their quality data verification for single adults, chronic individuals, and veterans.
Okay.
So there's still gaps. By hearing that, I'm thinking there's still a lot of gaps, but
Yeah.
that's a huge start in just a year to be able to accomplish that much.
Well, and the
That's
thing
incredible.
I think that we all realize, because another person that's on our Continuum of Care for the South Central region, she pointed out that a lot of these agencies only have a couple of employees.
Yeah.
And so that is something that we've talked about. It's like, how do I do all of this? And it's just me and one other person. And so that's been something that as a group we've talked about. I think having the best data you can have is a great starting point, because you don't even know where you're starting until you have great data. And we've been working towards that. The other thing is that if you, now I lost my train of thought. It's completely gone.
That's okay. I have a question.
Go ahead.
So is every city or every person that is part of the COC, are they automatically in the Built for Zero, or do they have to specifically sign up?
Do you mean agency or person experiencing
No,
homelessness?
agency. So is every single agency then part of this Built for Zero automatically, or they had to say, hey, hello, raise my hand, and yes, I want to be a part of this?
So every agency that is funded by the Department of Housing and Urban Development is part of it, because they
Okay.
are required to participate in the COC as
Okay.
part of their funding. But we are hoping to expand our reach even more to non-funded agencies, to get everyone on board and get the best data possible, so that we can ask for more money. We can't start looking at the problem and solving the problem until we know how big the problem is.
Yeah.
And that's where the data piece comes
Because
in.
I know
That
2
question came
agencies.
back.
Yes, I know 2 agencies just that are surrounding McPherson County that I know are not funded by that funding, because
Yeah.
they're all privately funded. I know at least 2.
Okay, my thought came back.
Okay, go
It's
ahead.
amazing how it'll bounce around.
Well, I
in
figured
there,
if I
and
talked,
then
you would
comes
figure
back.
it out.
So one of the complaints that we have had is that the pit count is done in the dead of winter. And the folks that we need to count in the summertime, you can find them everywhere.
Yep.
In the dead of winter, they're either housed with another family, or they're staying in a hotel, or they're more difficult to find.
Yes.
And so that is an area where, for the people listening, and we have a wide listenership,
Right.
if you have any say on when that pit count is done, we need your help in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of our biggest barriers with the pit count, and because of that, we do undercount people, especially in our rural areas. You talked about how a lot of agencies might only have a couple of staff, but they cover 4 counties. There's absolutely no way they can go out and count every single person in those 4 counties with 4 staff. So that's, again, where this data piece comes in. We're getting more accurate data than just that one night, and we can see trends throughout the year on when we're seeing more people, when we're seeing less people, and are we actually reducing homelessness throughout the year instead of just maybe one night when it's really cold and everyone is utilizing their resources.
So should we be doing it on more than one night, do you think? Do you think it should be like a week?
I wish that they would do 2 counts a year.
Okay.
I understand that they're probably never going to change the winter count, but I wish that they would do a spring or a fall count, maybe not even summer, because when it gets really hot here in Kansas.
It does get hot.
And so sometimes people do the same thing in the summer as in the winter when it's really hot. They go inside, they find people they can stay with. So if we did a more mild weather count, like in the fall, maybe like, I don't know, early October. We might get a more accurate picture of what it looks like if we're just counting one
Even
night.
now, April.
I
mean, something in the spring or fall or something, because it is not an accurate count. I mean, we know that it's not an accurate count. Just in our little community. I bet we have double or triple what we think we have of people experiencing homelessness.
I would say so too. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Molly. This has been a really informative conversation.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
So welcome back. We are now joined by Abigail Kirkman. Abigail, I know that you deal with SOAR benefits. That's another one of those, what are they called?
Acronyms. And so first thing I'm going to want to know is, what is SOAR benefits?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
So my name's Abby Kirkman. I am one of the founders of Parkland Training and Consulting. Before we started PTC in August of 2025, I was the assistant director of the SOAR Technical Assistance Center, along with my colleague who I started PTC with, Susie Sodergren. Collectively, we worked at the SOAR Technical Assistance Center for over 30 years.
Wow.
So
you're not old enough to be there for over 30 years. There's okay, I'm sorry. This is a total... nothing to do with the podcast, but I'm having a problem with that.
So SOAR stands for SSI, SSDI, Outreach, Access, and Recovery. And it is essentially a methodology of helping individuals who are experiencing or at risk of homelessness apply for Social Security disability benefits. So previously, the federal government, SAMHSA, funded the SOAR Technical Assistance Center. The funding for that ended in August of 2025, but one of the things that Susie and I really recognized was that the need for SOAR and strong disability benefits advocacy remained. So since then, we have partnered with about 12 states to continue the training, technical assistance, and support for the SOAR methodology. But beyond that, what we're really focused on is timely access to Social Security disability benefits. So how can we get people who are experiencing or at risk of homelessness with severe disabilities the SSI and SSDI that they are entitled to in a timely manner, which we know leads to housing, it leads to further employment opportunities, and really just like a more reentry and reintegration back into the traditional society.
Okay,
It is very difficult. Yes.
I heard state, 12 states. So if you are in Kansas, where exactly do people go to get access to what you're talking about?
Yeah, great question. So one of the states that we are currently partnering with is the state of Kansas. And Kansas is actually one of the top 10 states for SOAR. They have an average approval rate of about 75% on initial application for SSI and SSDI. Wow. So how SOAR works in Kansas is we are contracted with the state to provide training, technical assistance, and support. So there are agencies throughout the state that have SOAR trained providers. And generally, you would become enrolled in the services of of that organization so that they can provide wraparound services, not just assistance with SSI and SSDI, because we know that while benefits assistance is important, it's just one piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
So depending on where you are located or where an agency is located, they might have SOAR trained staff. But that's also something to say that we are constantly looking for additional providers who are interested in becoming involved in this initiative. The training is free, the support is free. What we want is just for agencies to say, hey, people who we work with need Social Security disability benefits. How can we help them get it better and in a more timely way?
So for me, I have a company called Jamie's House because I have a special needs adult son, and I found that I was not getting the services that he needed. So I started a company, which is what I like to do.
Yep.
And that would be something that my agency could apply to do. And I have a very, very tiny staff, but I'm just saying if we were larger, maybe we would be able to do that.
Yeah, anyone. We always say anyone can become SOAR trained, whether you have your MSW, you're a caseworker, or you're a volunteer. Anyone who wants to help people navigate this system of applying for Social Security disability benefits, whether you're going to work with 50 people a year or 2 people a year. And I think that this is something that PTC, our company, really focuses on too. Yes, I want you to do the full methodology of SOAR, but we also understand that there is a whole other world of Social Security disability benefits. What if you have a CDR, a continuing disability review? What if you need to go through an appeal? What if you're someone who is older and you don't necessarily need a disability application, you need an aged application? What if you have a child that you're working with? So there's the methodology, and then there's like everything that comes around it. And one of the things that we really focus on and how I feel we do differently than what we were able to do at the federally funded center is we really approach it from a holistic point of view.
So our case manager, for instance, would be able to then be trained and then help the families that we work with.
Yes.
We have people come to us all the time that feel like they need to have those services.
Absolutely.
And we're like, that's a long process. And that's about all we can tell them, and it's hard to even know where to send them to get that done.
And I will say, you're exactly right, that the typical process, you probably have heard the myth that everyone needs to be denied 3 times before they're approved for benefits.
Yes.
Yeah, and so a lot of people will be denied initially, then they'll go in the first level of appeal, and then the ALJ, and they might get a predatory attorney. So and that can take years.
Yes.
The average time frame for that is about 2 to 2.5 years. With the SOAR methodology, we see on average nationally about a 68% approval rate in about 4 to 5 months, maybe a little bit more depending on how bogged down Social Security is. And like I mentioned, in the state of Kansas, they see an initial approval rate of upwards of 75% initially. So it's not a type of application. What we are training is how do we navigate the system, how do we fill out the forms appropriately, and how do we meet Social Security's criteria for disability.
And those forms are crazy. I don't know if you've ever had to fill out any of the forms. So I have to do that regularly for my child. He's 30, but I have to fill those forms out for him. And if I didn't know what I was doing, they're kind of crazy.
The whole process is so cumbersome, and some of it is done online, some of it is not able to be done online, and it's really navigating this incredible bureaucratic process. And I think part of what SOAR is and what we really strive to do is like pull the curtain behind, say this is what they're asking. This is actually what they're asking for. This is actually how you meet the disability listings, and here's how you talk to SSA and DDS on their terms.
Oh, I love Abigail and the work she's doing, and others that we've spoken with, because it, like she said, they're pulling back the curtain.
Yes.
They're saying, let's figure this out together. And I have been trained to know how to navigate it, which the average person off the street trying to get through whatever systems we have in place is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you. And I'll just say too, like one of our big things is support. We always say at PTC, like we firmly believe that our training is only as good as the support we provide, because we could train you all day, every day, but every individual that you work with is unique. Everyone has their own, it's a nuanced application, their situation is nuanced. So you need to be able to reach out to someone and say, hey, this is the situation that we're dealing with. what would you advise on this? How would you handle this? And thanks to our contract with the state of Kansas, we are able to serve as that liaison and not only provide the training, but also all the follow-up support that's associated with it.
So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they do
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. So you can go to our website. It's Parkwyn Training and Consulting, and that's PARKWYN Training and Consulting. Or you can reach out to the SOAR State Team Leads for Kansas, both of whom are located at KDADS, Jonathan Pendergrass, and Patrick Nolan. And we all work collaboratively.
Oh, that's awesome.
But we have some social media, some LinkedIn, some
All
Facebooks.
right.
You can find us
Okay.
there. But we are a new company. We're growing, but we have such experience with SOAR. So we're just looking forward to engaging with more providers across the country.
And I would say just please reach out
Yeah.
to the
Yes.
agencies if you need help, because I know this is a big barrier for a lot of
It's a
people
huge
that
barrier.
we work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please reach out to them. And I'm sure that they have to have agencies across the nation again, because we are a national, international
Yeah.
podcast. So if you're out there, find those resources for yourself or your family members or your children so that they can have what they need.
Yeah.
And maybe you want to be an advocate and get the training so you can help people navigate the forms and the process of applying. So
Yep.
thank
And
you.
You're welcome. And yes, we're totally open to talking to anyone and everyone, and not just agencies. You know, I've worked with friends, family members to do this. It's such a need across, and figuring out how to navigate the system is such a bear, and we try to really break it down.
Bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Thank you.
great. Thank
Thank you.
you for stopping by.
Thanks.